What's up, everyone? I'm Caleb. I'm here with Evan, and welcome back to another episode of the Broad Street Boys, where today we will be breaking down the Sixers' lack of move at the trade deadline. I don't have a lot to say about it. Evan's fired up over here, so Evan, I'm going to give you the floor.
Man, my day started so nice hearing that Buddy Hield move at around 10:30, 10:50. Came out of my analytics class buzzing. I was like, oh my God, we just got Buddy Hield improving. And then my day progressively went from here to like here real quickly within a few hours. I'm just going to read out what kind of happened for all that don't know. And just before I do this, so Joel Embiid will be back before the playoffs. It's just depending on how good he's going to be before the playoffs. There's no timetable quite yet. There's no set timetable, but they're saying before the playoffs. So that's why we're kind of making all these moves. So the Sixers, in total, got Buddy Hield, campaign, and 2 second-round picks. However, we traded away Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, Patrick Beverley, Jaden Springer, Daniel House Jr., and 4 second-round picks. We're kind of just going to break down each and every pick. And, I'll start with the positives, though. I do really like the Buddy Hield acquisition. I thought it was a lot for a rental because he is a free agent next year. But I think Buddy Hield, Caleb and I were just talking about this off camera.
Yeah. And from what I saw, their whole point of like getting Buddy Hield is that when Embiid comes back, this guy's gonna let Embiid do his thing. Like he's gonna take a guy or two, and basically just like ball movement. Like that's why they got him, so that he can feed Embiid. Like the move may not make sense without him, but once Embiid's back, I think it's gonna look a lot better than it does right now. Pat Bev, I don't get that. I don't get that one at all.
Yeah, I actually really like the Buddy Hield thing because, like you said, when Embiid comes back, there's going to be so much space on that court.
And there's going to be a ton of space.
Buddy Hield currently is shooting 38% from three, and he shot 42% last year. And it's not just like he's taking like 1 or 2 threes a game; he's taking like 6. So this is like really encouraging that we're getting like a volume 3-point shooter. Around Embiid because he hasn't truly had like a pure shooter other than Seth Curry. But like at this current point, he'll be good. He just won't be like, oh my gosh, like game changing, like sort of thing.
He's going to be like small role guy where they really just want to move the ball around.
Yeah, and that's honestly okay. Like we need to do something. And then we also got Campaign, who I'll get into when we talk about Patrick Beverley. And 2 first-round picks, or 2 second-round picks. So for Buddy Hield, we gave up Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 2 first-round picks. 2 second-round picks. Marcus Morris, in my opinion, will be missed just for team morale. Like, that's something I took notice that Daryl Morey didn't give a fuck about. I mean, if he wanted to piss off the entire city in one day, I'm not quite sure you could have done it more perfectly without trading Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey.
He succeeded. Look at you right now. He succeeded.
He did a great job with that. Really kudos to you, Daryl Morey. You kind of fucked everything up. You quite literally traded away like the 2 like high motor guys and like hustle like scrappy players in Marcus Morris and Patrick Beverley, who I'll get into in a minute because that's one of the worst trades I've ever seen. But Marcus Morris is a guy that you just like the city just gave him like the keys or whatever the fuck that means, but it means like he's a big deal. And then your response to that is to trade his ass away like immediately. Like obviously he's like not like a big deal like basketball wise, but like when you have this many injuries on your bench where you like we had to play Traquavion Smith like a ton of minutes, and yes, he scored 17 points, but he's a G League player. We had to play this other guy I'm blanking out on, but another G League player. Like we're so short-handed with Robert Covington being out, with Nick Batum being out. Like everyone is out right now, and the fact that you completely dumped our bench for 2 players makes absolutely no sense to me. And now let's talk about Patrick Beverley. So Pat Bev was probably like every normal person's like one of their favorite players when he's in. Like he's just the scrappy guy, the guy just rolling around on the floor, hyping the young guys up. Real, I think he was great for Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah,
Um,
he contributes all around big time.
yeah, he's just a good teammate just in general. And then you trade him for Cam Payne, who has been hot ass this year, hot ass, and a second round pick in 2027 for not for 3 fucking years. Like I'm so over us having these GMs that think they're smarter than the league. It's Howie Roseman too. Like they just think they're smarter than the league, and I'm so over it. Well, because like this team with Joel Embiid was borderline unstoppable when everybody's healthy. We started the year 10-1. Have we not forgot that? Like I just don't get the reason. Like, do you really think Cam Payne is that much better than Patrick Beverly? Like Daryl Morey, Caleb did a great job pissing quite literally everyone off. He even pissed people off that weren't even Sixers fans. D'Angelo Russell said something like Philly gonna miss you, and then at Patrick Beverly podcast or whatever. Who D'Angelo Russell literally is on the Lakers, and he knows. Like Patrick Beverly is Philadelphia. He's that gritty. He's that scrappy guy that'll do the extra mile. Like he's just that Philadelphia guy, and he loved it here. And then I'm gonna get to the whole Daryl Morey being a liar later, but Caleb, can I?
Yeah, I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
as much as I hate James Harden, he might have been onto something.
Yeah, no, yeah, I completely agree. This guy, Daryl Morey, according to Patrick Beverly, said like laughed at the idea of Patrick Beverly being traded. Like laughed at it and said, no, we ain't trading you or something. Like, but then all of a sudden, you trade him not for anybody good. Like Cam Payne was good on the Suns 3 years ago in 2021 when they won the entire thing. That was when he was good. He was not good on the Bucks. His shooting percentage dropped dramatically all of a sudden, and he has the weirdest looking jump shot I've ever seen. He is just not good, and he hardly plays defense. Like this guy is so bad, and we traded Pat Bev for him. And just like you said, like as much as I don't want to admit it, maybe James Harden was onto something. Like Daryl Morey was a bona fide liar. Like he straight up lied to the entire team, pretty much. Like Patrick Beverly is the backbone of that team. And Caleb, you don't watch much Sixers, but you could probably just see that from like social media. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is the backbone of this team. And they just dumped him. And I don't really get it. Can I have your thoughts on this while I gather my thoughts for the next one?
If you're like, the way I see it, like I can easily put it into like baseball terms or football terms because I know
Yeah,
more about that.
go ahead.
But you're taking away the essentially the backbone of the team, like you said, like the dude who's willing to do the dirty work,
Yeah.
the guy who's going to go all out. He is a bench guy. So what does he get, like maybe 15 minutes a game, a little more?
Around, yeah. Recently more because everybody's hurt, but yeah, usually 15.
I wonder if part of the reason why they traded him was so that he could go somewhere where he could play full time. And maybe
Guess,
like
but
be a starter, not a bench guy. Maybe like free up some space there. Since you're just holding on to him, that is the only way I can make sense of this.
and I honestly I want to agree with you, but they quite literally traded him to a team with Damian Lillard. Like you're never gonna start there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been beef between Damian Lillard and Patrick Beverly, and then they also sent him off to play with Doc Rivers. So like,
no, dude, wait, that's actually smart. Try to tear the team apart.
But you give him up. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to give him up.
you're giving them up, but at the same time, you could also kill that team.
Yeah, but that team's already killed. They're literally 1-5 with Doc Rivers. So bad. Like I don't know. I just can't make sense of that. And then the next one, Jaden Springer. Caleb, I don't know if you know a whole lot about
No,
Jaden Springer.
I don't even know this dude's name.
Okay, I'm gonna explain to you and to the people that don't really know out listening. Jaden Springer was drafted to be the next Matisse Thybulle x2, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like coming out of college, out of Tennessee, I believe, he could shoot better than Matisse Thybulle, and he could play as good or a little worse defense than Matisse Thybulle. And he was 18 years old. 18. We sat on him for 3 years. He played really well at the end in the G League. Like they won the whole thing, and him and B-Ball Paul were on that team. And then all of a sudden, the past month, he has shut down. Caleb, listen to this. He has shut down Steph Curry last night for 9 points. Shut down Luka Doncic for under 20 points. Trae Young under 20 points, and someone else who I'm blanking out on under 20 points. So defensively and as a player as a whole, he has improved so much, and he's like this project, right? So then that Daryl Morey did draft, so it's not like another GM drafting him, right? And then you trade him away, not to some bum ass team, but to literally the team that you lost in Game 7 last year, who need a defensive minded point guard along with Drew Holiday.
I'm gonna keep saying this. There's got to be something big that's coming tomorrow. You don't just dump guys like that and then expect to get nothing back. Like there's got to be something we don't know that's going on.
That's what I'm thinking. But what can we do? Get Kyle fucking Lowry?
That is the only way that I can make this sound okay. Not to defend Morey, but to just make it seem like, oh shit, like we're not gonna panic. Like there's something else that's going on.
Believe me, I want to be on that side because I was on that side as soon as Patrick Beverley got traded. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was like, they've got to be doing something. There's something weird happening. Like there's now 3 spots open on the roster. Like they're totally gonna go trade for like DeMar DeRozan and and Andre Drummond, like both, and then trade Tobias Harris with them, right? That's where I was thinking at first. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like what if we get both? This would be great. Like we finally have a shot maker. But then we trade Jaden Springer with 10 minutes to go, but before the 3 o'clock deadline. Like, and then I'm like, well, fuck this. Then they're not doing shit. Like, I just don't get it. And so I'm gonna try to rationalize it for the two of us. Doing this does free up a decent amount of space. Like, I like if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm assuming he's gonna go all in free agency coming up. For a guy like Paul George, which would be great because we've honestly, I don't know if you know this, but like Buddy Hield has been rumored to come to us for the past like 5 years. Like Buddy Hield for the Sixers is always a name that you're like, oh my gosh, wait, he's not here yet.
Is it like a Levine situation?
It's the exact same thing. Like, how long have you heard Zach LaVine, might be coming to the Sixers? Like years. But except Buddy Hield was that as soon as he got to Indiana. Like, and even on the Kings, he was like that too. Like, oh my gosh, a deal in the works for the Sixers, but he just never came. But then now he's here. Like, but Paul George is a very similar thing. The free agency years ago when Paul George was a free agent, he chose to go back to the Clippers. He was also in talk with us. So like he's one of those guys that you just always hear Sixers might be like maybe getting him. Now that's the only way I could rationalize this is that we're gonna go all in next year. But as a fan this year, like it's really not fun. And I just told Caleb this off camera. They quite literally traded away most people's favorite player. Like Furkan Korkmaz is the second longest tenured Sixer behind Joel. And he's gone. And he's currently on the buyout market already. Same with Marcus Morris. Patrick Beverley, the backbone. Even Daniel House. I like Daniel House. He was kind of like another gritty guy that could do some things coming off the bench. He's like a good clubhouse guy. And Marcus Morris is now on the buyout market too. But man, I don't know about you, Caleb, but I'm just lost. I'm
looking at the list right now, and
yeah.
So we got 2 second-round picks for what, 2027?
Probably.
And
like not soon.
The picks that we traded, we gave up 4 second-round picks for what year? I'm assuming maybe even like
probably
next
soon.
Year's draft.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah, no, that makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, and again, this is just me trying to rationalize this. Like, the only way I could think like maybe this would make sense is so we have 3 spots open, and what I'm thinking is we're number 1 right now in contention for Kyle Lowry, which me personally I would take Pat Bev over Kyle Lowry, but obviously not Daryl Morey. But Kyle Lowry would make perfect sense considering he's from here and Nick Nurse and him won a championship together. Another guy that I would be very interested in is Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, he's a big scoring guy, good off the bench type of shit. Like I would take him, but he's also a problem in the locker room with every team he goes to. Caleb, you might not know this, but he quite literally threw a temper tantrum on the Nets and just refused to play. So that's why he's even on the buyout market because people know this. And then another guy, like any type of center, I would take right now. I'd even take Robin fucking Lopez, who's ass, but I take him because he's a backup center. Like I can't keep watching this bum ass team with like I just can't do it. I can't. We literally lost to the Warriors by like almost 30, and Steph Curry scored 9 points. And the reason why Steph Curry scored 9 points is now on the Celtics. Do you see why I'm frustrated? Like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like I'll put this into Philly's terms. This is like us drafting Mickey Moniak, except if Mickey Moniak was like good and all of a sudden like had like a breakout, like let's just say month. And we're like, let's trade him to the fucking Tigers for let me think, like some bullpen bomb. Like that's literally what this is. Like, or I can even make it even worse. It's almost like trading Mickey Moniak to the Braves for like Mike Tomlin or whoever that you know who I'm talking about, the guy that Harper went yard off of. Or like Brad Hand or like someone ass or nothing. But that's pretty much what we're doing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I there's not much else to say about this because I'm so upset at this entire team because I have gone through, like, I feel like the process is now imploding because Joel Embiid puts out a tweet. I'm going to read it out to you, Caleb. Did you see the tweet?
Not yet.
You're going to laugh. Joel Embiid, 3 hours ago. Lots of people got better. That's fun for competition. Not like, oh, good trade deadline. No, that means, oh my god, the Celtics just got Jaden Springer. Oh my god, the Bucks just got Patrick Beverley. You know what I mean? Like that is not a good tweet coming from your star player.
Yeah, no. If you guys don't make it past the first round, this might be Embiid's current call.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Would you blame him?
No.
After all he's been through?
Well, you guys are essentially, you threw yourself in a rebuild. That's what this is.
Yeah. So that actually sparked something in my mind that I just thought of. We just threw ourselves in a in a veteran rebuild. We're about to get so many washed up, just old farts on this team. It's gonna be funny. Kyle Lowry is old. Like, as much as I want to say that he's gonna be good, he's old. We're gonna get so many old guys on this team. It's gonna be funny. Like, it's gonna be bad. Like, this is like a reverse rebuild. It's like almost like Daryl Morey wants us to be mid. Like, it's really funny. And I don't get why we didn't trade Tobias Harris either, unless we're gonna sign him back. If we sign Tobias Harris back, Caleb, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me freak out. You're gonna see me freak out. Oh my god, I just thought of that.
I don't think it's gonna.
Daryl Morey loves that guy, so I'm just afraid. But,
well, all right, but if you're going the same direction that if you're doing moves similar to the one you just did, like I think he's gone.
I hope so, and we can get. I'd rather Paul George on this team would be great. Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid would be crazy because then Maxey is not a good one, and we obviously see that after us losing like 6 or 7 right now. And he's a good 2. He's not a great 2. He's a good 2 that could give you really good minutes. But as a 3, with Paul George, who doesn't necessarily demand the ball, that'd be great, in my opinion. But at the same time, in the current now, none of anything that we did today made sense other than Buddy Hield. Like nothing else made sense to me. Yeah. I mean, do you have anything else on the Sixers? Because I'm just about over this team and over thinking about this team.
So I'll change it. So on the bright side,
please.
Jason Kelce said he might not retire.
I'm in.
Might give it another year.
I'm in. Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't retire, that gives Cam Jurgens a year to think about playing center. But I mean, I do think he's going to retire because I think he's enjoying this retired life real nice right now.
Like you had a great career. Everyone knows your name. You're a center. You're a Hall of Famer. Probably one of the greatest centers to ever play the game.
Yes. Like,
step away now. The only reason why he might come back, and I completely get this, would be to go out with a win.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a Super Bowl win.
I know, and it's it's almost a little weird because like he is a dad, and those knees aren't gonna hang on for too much longer, Jason. Let's be real
No.
here. Um, but I honestly, like, my honest take on this is like I think he's still gonna retire. I don't know about you. Or at least I think that's the smart move for him. Yeah,
I want him. Like, I love him. I want him to retire. Like, just
totally
enjoy
with you.
yourself while you still can. Because if dude, like, who knows what'll happen if he plays one more season? If he
No.
gets hurt, that's
If he gets
blowing
hurt-
up everything. That's blowing up all of his future plans. And then look at where you're putting your team.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this again. I think he's enjoying this retired life that he's living real nice right now. He's in Vegas with Travis. Did you see him playing blackjack with Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, and the Barstool guys? Like, it's freaking awesome. And it just, I don't know, it just seems like he's having a lot of fun in the offseason. And then him at the freaking Bills game, shirtless, crushing beers, like,
Dude,
it's awesome.
like he's getting so much media attention right now that he could go anywhere.
Yeah, and I hope his concern isn't money, because all those
Oh,
all the sponsorships that and the commercial he's going to be
like,
in.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, he's probably making more from those commercials than he is on the field.
Absolutely, he's approaching like Gronk territory, like making all his money from straight up commercials, right?
Dude, honestly,
speaking Travis,
I can see Manscaped approaching Jason Kelce,
yes,
try to make a deal with him, because that would just be hysterical. I can see that happening.
That would be so funny.
Or like,
I'm
some other like masculine brand going after him to make these. No, like the Luth bare naked underwear should go after Kelce, dude. That is a perfect fit.
Imagine, that would be so funny. But like, this is just supporting our point. Like, he just doesn't need to play anymore.
No,
like,
he doesn't.
And as much as I would love to keep on watching him play football, which I would, like, I would. Like, he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to prove anything to, like, especially to either one of us. Like, he doesn't need to prove shit to me. Like, and please don't, like, I'm almost happy that he didn't get hurt and then end his career there. Like, obviously I wish we beat the fucking Bucks, but like I'm almost happy that he didn't get hurt and then end his career right there. He just went out and into the sunset in Tampa Bay. Like, that's honestly my honest take about this. And then we can kind of roll into the Eagles a little bit with this. I want to hear your like unbiased thoughts about our coordinators, Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. How do you feel about that? I'm just curious as a Commanders fan.
I like the offensive coordinator move.
Yeah.
Looking at both the track records, it's not great.
Yeah.
I don't like the Fangio move.
You don't? Okay.
I don't like it. Like, I know something was put out the other day that a huge conflict with Fangio and his defense was that a lot of them just wanted to adapt to the Miami lifestyle, live kind of lavishly, live kind of fat.
Right.
And so, like, I don't think he mixed well, but even looking beyond that, he's been like a 500, like around 500 coach, like attributing him to the defense. And then he's still averaging like 21 to 28 points a game on the defense.
No, I know.
Like, maybe the Eagles have the depth where that he can actually work with them and coach them.
Yeah.
Obviously a large part of it is, will they listen to him?
That's like step one.
Yeah, like step one, are they going to listen to him? Are they going to respect him? 2, are they going to like actually take up his advice, adapt into play? And then 3, is it the defense that's the problem, or is Fangio the problem? Because I could easily see it being Fangio's the problem, because you can't tell me that like there are any holes, especially like your defensive line, stud, your linebackers, a bunch of studs. Like, the only thing that could be within question would be the secondary, which I'm assuming that you guys are going to fix that within the first 3 rounds of the draft. Yes. Offensive coordinator, just you have everything there. Work with Hurts. Honestly, just have Hurts say what he wants to do. Work around that. Draw a play specifically to Hurts' needs, and then just as the offensive coordinator, like it's going to be hard to screw up that job.
I think so. Yeah, like I think, at least in my opinion, I think this is one of the more attractive jobs, just because we literally just went to the
talent.
Super Bowl.
There's talent everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and think about it. We just went to the Super Bowl with this same exact lineup, right? Like, obviously, we're good enough.
Plus, you added Carter.
Yes.
The only thing that like might hurt you guys to some extent would be losing Kelce.
Yeah.
But even then, like it's kind of minor when you look at the big picture. The
I agree.
center is important, but if you can find someone to just do half of what Kelsey did, you're good. Like obviously the tush push without Kelsey, like you're not gonna be able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Plus, like the NFL might still try to ban it, um, but you guys are good. You're set.
I think so too. My honest take about this. So I'll start with defense too. Um, I feel very in the middle. Does that make sense about Fangio?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like him as the person. Like, okay, so the guy's from Scranton. His family lives in Scranton. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, so he's obviously coming here to come home. So he obviously wants to be here, which is cool. Um, last year, I mean, to be honest, like that defense wasn't great, but at the same time, we have to take into account how many like major injuries that Dolphins team had.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, like
Bradley Chubb, like
aside
it was
from
a lot.
that, it like the talent that he had there,
Yeah,
it kind of scares me a little bit that he's coming over here where there like obviously there's more talent, but
right,
it's maybe I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared that he may not know how to coach this much talent.
right. So my only like rebuttal to that is that Dolphins team obviously they're like killed with injuries. I mean, let's be honest, like Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are two top five, arguably top three corners, and they hardly played on both sides from each other. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my number one thing. Bradley Chubb was hurt like week 13 or 14, and then a bunch of other guys on that line were hurt. So I'm trying not to like completely judge him like strictly off last year because like I don't know. Like if imagine like the Eagles Super Bowl defense, like imagine Darius Slay got hurt and like fucking Fletcher Cox got hurt or Jalen Carter got hurt, right? Like you couldn't do much as a coordinator to hide those holes. Like they're just big players. So I'm trying to look past last year. Um, but I think the big thing for this is like the reason why I'm so in the middle about this and like not opinionated, but like it's because like you know me and the Philadelphia everybody like we had to go through years and years of no blitzing. Like Jim Schwartz never blitzed. Jonathan Galen hardly ever blitzed. Like it's just not something we do. And Vic Fangio is a guy that falls right into that line on someone who never blitzes and just falls back into coverage.
Like blitzing worked for you guys.
That's thank you. That's what I mean though. Like
It
I'm a
worked for
little
you
lost.
guys.
I'm a little lost. But it's weird. Like Patricia would blitz, but he would blitz in the completely wrong time. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
Patricia's defense is basically all built on blitzing, but he would just blitz at the completely wrong time and then it would leave wide open. Like he would blitz on first down and then it would make
Yep.
no sense. So and then Mike Evans is wide open down the field. So there's a little bit of that. Like it goes like I don't know. It goes against everything that we believe in. However, he will not drop Hassan Reddick into coverage, which is all I really care about coming from this defensive coordinator. That he's not Matt Patricia dropping our best pass rusher into coverage. Like, that makes no sense. So I actually feel okay about this. Like, and the fact that he has seen a Super Bowl before. He was on the 49ers staff when they went with Colin Kaepernick, and that defense was great. But they also had great players like Patrick Willis and all of them. So I mean, great players. So like I wouldn't say I'm afraid of what he's gonna do, but I'm honestly curious to see how he's gonna mix. I think, but you will agree with me when I say that this draft is gonna be huge for us.
Yeah, this is gonna make or break your defense.
Yeah. So what I'm on, we'll probably do a whole draft segment, honestly, like a whole draft podcast. But what I'm thinking is he's gonna do like a corner linebacker because we have 2 second round picks. So that's what I'm thinking. And our linebackers are hot ass, so I'm hoping we get Jeremiah Trotter Jr., which would be great. But I think it's how he's going to do is very dependent on this draft. So I'm actually encouraged to see what he does. And honestly, I might be just encouraged just because I don't have to watch Matt Patricia's defense ever again / Sean Desai's defense. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's why I'm more optimistic than you. And then Kellen Moore, I'm also optimistic on. Um, I actually thought he was a huge reason why Dak Prescott was good when he was the quarterback's coach. And I honestly think Kellen Moore's a genius with his offensive packages. But again, I feel like I just said this, but it really goes against everything that myself and every Philadelphia fan think of. Like, what did we want to do all last year, Caleb? Run the ball. Kellen Moore is not a running the ball type of coach. He's more of like a play action, drop back, let Hurts rip it type of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you guys resign Swift, I think the run game's gonna be bigger this year. If
I
you
hope
let
so.
him, if you guys just let him do his thing, then I think you're gonna be more like if it's a run, it's gonna be Hurts running,
Yeah,
which I don't think is a bad thing for you guys.
no, I don't either. And I actually don't hate. So what my problem with Brian Johnson was, he had literally one Jalen Hurts run play, and you know it's the QB rush. He just rushes up the middle. There's no read option. It's just gets it fucking run type of thing, right? And then that and the tush push. But like I feel like with Kellen Moore, he might not run the ball as much. But at the same time, but when they do run the ball, I feel like Jalen Hurts it'll be more of like a designed like triple option or like a read option type of play. So I'm definitely encouraged with that. And I'm also a little lost on this one thing. I've been thinking about it for a while. I want to hear your take on it too. A little lost on what Sirianni's job is. Because I texted you about the press conference. That press conference with Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni was absolutely embarrassing because it was just excuses for 31 minutes. Did you ever watch or hear clips from that? Because that was
No, I heard about it. He was,
it was
I
bad.
don't. It will because looking at him last year, he was essentially a puppet.
And that's what he's going to be this year.
I don't think he did his job last year, and
No.
this year I think he's going to be because I don't think he can't coach.
That's the problem.
He can't coach.
I feel like he can motivate, but he can't coach.
He can motivate, yeah, okay, but you brought in probably two of the best available candidates for offensive coordinator, for your defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
and you were going to be relying and riding on those guys to get you those wins.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be there, but at the same time, he's not going to be doing much. I don't care if you guys win the Super Bowl next year. Fire him and get someone that's like actually going to coach the team, bring the team together, go in with a strategy. Like one of my big takeaways from that interview was that going into most games, they didn't have a strategy. They would try doing the same thing. Teams caught on to that, and that is why teams were beating you because you went with the same plays every single time. You said it yourself. You see the formation, you know exactly what they're running. You see the defense line up, and you know exactly where the holes were going to be.
Yep.
Every team knew that, and I think I forget where I saw it. So it wasn't in the interview, but Sirianni and Roseman were in a room, and Roseman was basically calling out Sirianni, saying like you had no plan, you didn't do your job. I don't know what Sirianni's response was, but obviously in that press conference, as we all saw, they had no response to everything that went wrong.
Funny thing is, you really stole the words out of my mouth. Like that's literally how I feel too. Like, and I'm not even gonna elaborate on what you just said because you said it perfectly, in my opinion. And also I had this thought. Maybe I think I might have told you. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I feel like I had this thought that like there's a decent amount of blame that goes on Howie Roseman for this. Do you notice that? A decent amount goes on. Like I didn't really think about it until I watched this interview or press conference. I was like, oof. Because if you go back to around this time last year, or not this time, but like later on, Howie Roseman put all of his marbles into Nakobe Dean at linebacker. Nakobe Dean gets hurt in week 4, basically out for the rest of the year, plays one more game, gets hurt again. And then all of a sudden you're stuck with Zach Cunningham, Nicholas Morrow, and his last name is Ellis, but I forgot his first name. And those are your linebackers. Zach Cunningham did good enough. Nicholas Morrow was one of the worst defensive players I've ever seen. And Christian Ellis was cut. So do you see what I mean? Like a decent amount of this goes on to him. And a decent amount of this goes on to him because like when has he drafted well? Recently.
No, put it on Sirianni. Roseman gave him the weapons. No, dude, you got to put it on Sirianni. Roseman gave him everything that he needed.
What? Okay, oh, wait. What did he give him? But
you drafted Carter. You gave him AJ Brown. Let's see. You got Swift. Like think about your offseason last year. You also got Kevin Byard. You brought back
Kevin Byard was ass killed. Kevin Byard was poop, like shit.
But my point is that like he actually tried to make moves to give Sirianni what he needed to win.
Do you know what he did really well? He did a great job. He actually, in general, Howie Roseman does a fantastic job at getting guys about 3 years after their prime. Do you notice that? Kevin Byard. Let me finish. Let me finish. Kevin Byard was fantastic 3 years ago on the Tennessee Titans on that Mike Vrabel defense. That's number one. Julio Jones was fantastic about 3-4 years ago, wasn't he? I'm just saying. And then he decides to never draft a damn corner when you consistently see Avonte Maddox get hurt. James Bradbury obviously showed signs of regression last year when he got blown pie by fucking Juju Smith-Schuster. And then you let Darius Slay be this fucking diva and pretty much play with his cock in the backfield and do nothing while he's hurt. He has, in my opinion, Howie Roseman has done fucking nothing to help Nick Sirianni. Like, yes, Jalen Carter was a good pick. Do you want me to suck your dick for that? Like, I'm so over this narrative that Howie Roseman is doing such a good job. Because is he?
Do you remember how excited you were when you guys traded for Byard?
Do you blame me? It was better than what we had, and what we had was nothing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's trying to make these moves. It didn't work out, but he's trying.
Do you know what he's doing? He's trying. He keeps on doing this. He keeps on trying too late. Trying the draft.
The Julio Jones move, it doesn't make sense until you look at that. Your receiver core was literally Smith, Brown. Sure, throw in a vet as a third string, fourth string. Boom.
Quez Watkins was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Okay, but who would you rather have?
At least Quez Watkins gets separation. Julio Jones literally just stands like a skeleton. They were throwing screens. Do you remember this? They were throwing screens to Julio Jones in the playoff game.
No, dude, that made no sense.
like he's just really good at getting older guys, and guys way past their prime. You can even go back to the damn Super Bowl year, Caleb. They got Linval Joseph, who was good on the Vikings about 3 years ago. Nick Suh, who was good on the fucking Bucks 3 years ago.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey was great for the Super Bowl.
That worked out. He was asked the next year, but you got him at like the end of his prime.
He was actually good the next year until the ball went straight through his hands into an interception against the Saints. And then that next year he was non-existent and cried like Darius Slay. So I just don't get it. But do you see what I mean? Like what Howie Roseman is doing, he's trying too late, and you can. I honestly put a lot on Sirianni. Yes, it's a lot Sirianni, and I meant to say this earlier, but I almost feel like going along with the Howie Roseman thing, like Howie's very weird with this, with getting new coaches, because I feel like, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I heard this on WIP, but I agree with it. I'm like, this is almost like what Howie probably gave to Doug Peterson. He was like, Doug, you have one of two options after like a rough year, right? You can A, give up your play calling abilities on offense. That's number one that he'd probably say, and defense, and just be what Sirianni is right now. Or you can leave. And Doug was like, okay, I'm gonna leave. Right? Like I feel like it's a very similar situation if Doug Peterson stayed. Do you agree with that stance? I forget who said it on WIP, but someone said it.
Doug will do more than Sirianni is ever going to do.
But do you remember he like in that 2020 year when it was Jalen Hurts' first year, they were awful. They won 4 games. And they were hard to watch, and we didn't have a pick. It was hard to watch. But then all of a sudden Doug leaves, Sirianni comes in, and then we sign these great coordinators. So I think it's obviously I'm not saying don't put any blame, like don't put zero blame on Sirianni, because I think a lot goes on Sirianni, and because he is the head coach, you are the head coach, you're supposed to motivate your guys and give me a scheme at least. At least try.
How about this? 65% goes on Sirianni, 35% goes on Roseman.
I'll give you that.
Because you got to put more on Sirianni being the coach rather than Roseman being the guy that puts the team together. Give Sirianni, like, it's all in Sirianni's hands after that. Roseman did his job to some extent.
Yeah.
Sirianni did not.
I do see your point that like there are truly two sides, and we both have two different sides. Like, but they're truly two sides, and it's so weird because we're never gonna know who's right and who's wrong. That's why I'm a little frustrated with talking about the Eagles, because we're never gonna find out who's right or wrong. Like with the whole Daryl Morey thing with the Sixers, like we're obviously gonna find out, like, is this team good or is this team not, like like, you know what I mean? Like there's obviously a yes or no answer. But we're never gonna be like, oh yeah, Howie Roseman said to Nick Sirianni the same thing that he said to Doug Peterson, or like random shit. But you know what I mean? Like we're just never gonna know who's 100% right. So it's definitely just a weird situation with the Eagles and the Sixers. I'm just so over this team and both teams, and I think we could both agree when I say baseball season can't come soon enough, because I need this team. I need the Phillies back in my life now.
Oh, to do a short little segment. Did you see today that they're still trying to, they're not going to sign, but they're going to trade for either a starting pitcher or another solid bullpen arm? Because I saw the Emmanuel Clase news, and they were like, they wanted Justin Crawford. We weren't going to give him up.
I would look, okay, on the down low, I would kind of give up Justin.
Yeah, you got Schwarber's replacement waiting in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
And like this, like he may not be a power guy, but he could be like an outfielding version of Stott, where it's just literally bat to ball is your game.
Yeah. I mean, I would do it, but I completely get why he wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like I completely get it. And I could see a scenario almost where like we kind of hold on to Justin Crawford until the trade deadline, and then if Clase is still available and we need like that other bullpen arm, I could see it happening then.
I think if we're gonna trade an outfielder, we trade Carlos De La Cruz.
I would much rather take De La Cruz.
He is a power hitting outfielder.
He's older.
The only thing, he's like what 20, 21.
Yeah.
Like he's for where he should be. Like he's older. Like I think he should be in the majors somewhere. I mean,
yes.
Hear me out.
Listening.
You package De La Cruz, some other dude, and maybe I don't know. You're gonna throw another. I have to look at the list, but De La Cruz. All right, so a trade package to the Nationals, center around De La Cruz. Maybe Andrew Painter, because I really think that injuries are gonna kill him for the rest of his career.
Okay, I'm listening still.
You make a deal for someone like Josiah Gray.
Okay.
Someone that's just an example, but target a pitcher who is young. He's going to be high up, like super high upside.
Yep.
Because we're giving up one of the best right-handed pitchers in the minor leagues.
Yeah, he was just
whose ceiling is incredibly high. We're giving up a power hitting outfielder who is 6'7", still growing, and is hitting the ball 480 plus feet. Like we're talking a skinnier version of Aaron Judge. It may not sound like much, but when you see that guy full grown, he could be a beast.
He's kind of
set around those two guys. Maybe you do you inquire about Clase again. You go to the Nationals about Sonny Gray. You go to the Red Sox about Brian Bayo or someone like that.
Yeah. I'm in. I'm in with that.
Who says no? In Philly, who says no? I mean, a lot of people might want to hold on to Painter, but as a GM, who's going to say no?
I know. Painter's weird because like Painter is like one of those guys that could come back to haunt you in the past. But if we're
good,
but at the same time, yes, that could happen. But at the same time, if we get Josiah Gray, bro, we might win.
What did the JT Realmuto trade teach us?
Exactly.
What did we learn from that? We gave up Sixto Sanchez, who was at the time the best pitcher in the minor leagues, who turned out to be nothing.
Nothing. He's still hurt, isn't he?
He's still, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Trade Painter right now while he's still got this super high upside.
Yeah.
But knowing in the back of your head, like, hey, like these injuries might prevent him from ever having that super high ceiling.
Right. I listen again. It might bite us in the ass in like a few years, but I don't care because we don't have a few years. Like that's where I'm at with this team.
We got 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
to go win it all right now.
And I feel like I'm gonna keep on saying that we don't have a lot of time, like for the next 2 years, because we don't. like these guys are now approaching their 30s, in their 30s. So, like it's not like they're 28 still. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like almost like going all in, win now mode. All I want is a Phillies championship. That would make my summer / fall. It would be fantastic.
So I think we'll end on this.
Okay.
Dave, you're never going to hear this, but if this somehow finds you, be like Evan waking up on Saturday morning, rip off the fucking Band-Aid, trade Painter, get it over with.
Trade Painter. I'm in. Win now mode, baby.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if we traded Painter for Josiah Gray. How old is Josiah Gray? I'm looking him up.
I don't think he's that old.
I don't think he's either.
But he's got, like, when he's on.
Over under 26.
I'm going to say somewhere around, like, 27, 28.
Okay. 26. I was on the dot. Oh my gosh. I was on the dot. 26 for, like, a guy that, I mean, he's proven to be good, but he's also trending to be great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we need. So, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so in. That's a great way to end this because there's a lot of negatives.
No, we started off with the negative.
Yeah.
Ended with a possibility for a massive positive for Philly. Philly, you got baseball coming up in less than 2 months. Look forward to that.
Thank God. And be on the lookout for a pitchers and catchers pod from the two of us in about a week. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, and also be on the lookout for a potential Sixers move tomorrow morning. I'm calling it at 10 a.m. There's going to be some big news with the Sixers. I'm calling it. I'm going to be hopeful.
I hope so.
Let's end on positives. Evan?
End on positive, baby. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll probably be back next week doing a big Phillies episode, considering pitchers and catchers are back. So we kind of want to roll out for like kind of a little preview for the upcoming season, for a little bit of spring training. I would like to go over some of our top prospects on who we could see, who's not like a big name type of guy like Bryce Harper or something. I'm just excited for baseball season. That's how I'm going to end this pod because I'm already over basketball. So thank you all so much for watching. Check us out on all of our socials. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You know it. Check us out there. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week and trust the process, I guess.